It's Easter weekend, and the holiday is bringing plenty of tourists to the Central Coast. KSBY reporter Austin Herbaugh was in Pismo Beach earlier today and has more.
Richard, Visit SlowCow tells me that Easter tourism numbers are expected to be on par with or even better than last year. Downtown Pismo Beach is drawing visitors from across the country and around the world.
We heard a lot about it before. We heard that that would be the go-to place for a nice sunset near San Luis Obispo. Yeah, did I say it right? Yeah.
The Central Coast, just one stop on a road trip up the California coast.
Well, I would say, we're from Portugal. There's a lot of traffic. There's also a lot of nice sunsets.
Others staying a little closer to home and visiting family. Easter weekend is the perfect excuse to get away.
Easter weekend, I'm really family oriented. My family has a place in Avila Beach, so I took my brother's surfboard and I just want to post it at my Avila house, and I'm going to stop here at Pismo for dinner and a drink.
People out and about and enjoying all the beauty that the Central Coast has to offer. Now, earlier we spoke with managers at the San Luis Obispo Airport. They say they've seen an increase in travelers as many schools are out for spring break. They add that airport traffic is at or above last year's levels. Reporting in studio, Austin Herbaugh, KSBY News.
Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Claudia Bucio, filling in for Chief Meteorologist Dave Hovde. Let's start off with a look at Pismo Beach. Earlier today, we can see crowds really enjoying the afternoon and the evening, taking a look at the sunset there. This is an image of 805 webcams. But let's take a look at our high temperatures throughout the day. We can see Paso Robles a little bit warmer, 75, San Luis Obispo 71, Santa Barbara 69, Santa Maria 68, and Lompoc 63. We know a lot of people have plans for the weekend. We do have rain in our forecast, though. It's supposed to be light rain, so we're still going to see most of the impact on Saturday across the board in our inland areas, coastal valleys, and beaches. But it seems like things are going to clear out by Sunday. Now, if you're heading out of town, we also want to show you in Sacramento, Fresno, and Bakersfield. We're going to see a little bit of that rain staying in Fresno for Sunday as well. Now, if you're heading to our neighbors in San Diego, you can see not much going on. It's just maybe some cloudy conditions. San Francisco is going to see some rain tomorrow. Now, we will be talking this furthermore in my forecast, but we do see some of those cloudy and foggy conditions already impacting us tonight. This rain is expected to make landfall tomorrow, but Sunday it seems like it'll be a sunny one. I'll have all those details coming up.
All right, Claudia, thank you. City of Santa Maria celebrated the 140th anniversary of the completion of the Pacific Coast Railway today. In celebration of the anniversary, city leaders held a big cleanup in the area of the railroad from Morrison and Boone Street. The history of the railroad goes back to 1882 when Chinese immigrants built the original railroad line. The tracks were expanded and reached Santa Maria on April 15th, 1882, and gave access for local farmers to send their products across the country.
We're looking future-wise, increased freight as trucking gets tighter, and eventually excursion trains, invigorate the economy by bringing tourists into Santa Maria, and then eventually commuter trains.
The railroad is still in use today for produce and fertilizer shipping. It is the final weekend of Cal Poly's annual Tomato Spectacular Plant Sale. Tomorrow from 11 to 5 p.m., more than 75 different types of tomato plants will be available at the horticulture unit near the Poly Plant Shop. Students began seeding the roughly 3,000 plants in early February and have tended to them in the campus greenhouses. The plants cost $8 each. Customers are encouraged to bring boxes or wagons to transport the plants to their vehicles. And just a reminder, this year the tax filing deadline is back to its regularly scheduled date this Monday, April 18th. The IRS had extended the tax filing deadline for the past 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But as things settle, taxpayers will need to send in their tax returns by Monday at midnight. Those who need more time can still file an extension. This will allow taxpayers to file until October 17th. Soaring prices, shortages, and now bird flu, they're all impacting the prices of some of your favorite Easter basket items. Those who celebrate the holiday could see price hikes for Easter Sunday meals too. Jen Sullivan has a closer look at how this could impact your holiday budget.
This Easter 2022, retailers are hopping through several hurdles, from inflation to shortages, and now bird flu.
It's one thing after another.
Wholesale egg prices are surging due to a nationwide bird flu outbreak.
2015 was the last time we had a big outbreak, and it really does cause a spike in egg prices.
According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, on Thursday, retailers paid between $2.80 and $2.89 for a dozen large-grade A white eggs in the Midwest, which is the benchmark for the nation. That's more than double the roughly $1.25 they cost in March, according to an industry analyst. The analyst says this likely won't impact consumers immediately because retailers often take a loss. One expert says even when prices do increase, consumers aren't likely to pass up eggs.
There's not a lot of flexibility in the demand for eggs, which means the prices really have to jump to ration what we've got.
And it's not just eggs. Turkey and chicken prices could go up, and availability could drop if birds at enough farms are infected. Experts say companies would need to shut down plants, leaving orders unfulfilled.
We sometimes forget eggs are in lots of things that we buy.
Even without the bird flu concerns, the price for Easter dinner is higher than ever this year. Consumer price inflation in March jumped 8.5% on an annual basis. Despite all that, the National Retail Federation says consumers are eager to celebrate, with the average person spending around $170.
Roughly 80% of Americans are planning to celebrate the holiday this year, just as many as we've seen in years past.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Those in need of an Easter meal this weekend can head to one of multiple distribution sites. The Food Bank of Santa Barbara County is giving back to the community prior to Easter. The distribution sites in Santa Maria Saturday will be at Allen Hancock College and Pacific Christian Center at their Angel Food distribution site. In Santa Barbara, it will be at Gracie Food Pantry, Franklin Elementary, and Goleta Valley Church, with the food banks saying they hope people take advantage of the opportunity.
We just want to give families that are in need a chance to get food, especially on the weekends, because weekdays we know families work. So they will have the opportunity this weekend to do that.
After speaking to several people on the Central Coast who did not want to go on camera, they tell KSBY with the high price of groceries, the food bank food distribution is incredibly important to getting food on the table. For complete details on where to find distribution locations, you can visit our website, ksby.com. This weekend is, of course, Easter, and several Easter egg hunts are back this year for children and families to enjoy. An egg scavenger hunt is happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Meadow Park in San Luis Obispo. The Easter Bunny is expected to be there along with many prize-filled eggs. The event is free for children ages 0 to 9. There are also free Easter egg hunts happening in Shell Beach, Pismo Beach, and Arroyo Grande. For detailed information on Easter egg hunts happening near you, you can head to ksby.com. And Claudia is back again with a little preview of the forecast. Kind of important to pay attention to that forecast because it could affect some of those Easter egg hunts on Saturday morning.
Oh yeah, and if you don't have plans this weekend, something's wrong because there are plenty of options here on the Central Coast. But we do have some rain coming our way. We're going to time that out for you so you can better prepare for your weekend. But here's a look at Cayucas thanks to 805 webcams.
Plus, with the primary election right around the corner, we take a closer look at the district lines that have changed for many of the races that are in the hands of Central Coast voters. And next, how businesses within the city of Lompoc are doing with regular launches at Vandenberg Space Force Base. This June, California voters will cast their ballot for governor, secretary of state, and attorney general. But Central Coast residents will notice some new faces this primary election when it comes to deciding the best candidates to represent them. KSBY News reporter Alexa Bertola explains.
The new census means new district lines. It's something that happens every 10 years. The primary election marks the first opportunity to vote for candidates in the newly drawn districts. To figure out which districts you're in, you can head to San Luis Obispo County's voter status lookup page.
It'll ask for the birth date, last 4 digits of the driver's license, and just the street address number. And once they get that and they're that voter, it's going to pop up all of their information regarding to which districts will be on their ballot.
The 24th Congressional District will still encompass all of Santa Barbara County with incumbent Salud Carbajal. It'll gain a bit more of Western Ventura County, that's more liberal, and to lose the more conservative northern portion of San Luis Obispo County to District 19. That district will now extend north along the Monterey and Santa Cruz coastlines.
I think it's a fair question as to whether any representative can adequately represent 500,000 people. The average sized congressional district is 700,000.
The representatives of state assembly districts 30 and 37 will also be in the hands of Central Coast voters this spring. One of the bigger changes is that District 35, represented by Assemblymember Jordan Cunningham, mostly covering San Luis Obispo County, is now absorbed into the 30th Assembly District, stretching up the coast into Monterey.
California has very large districts across the state because there are only 80 seats in the assembly and there are 40 million Californians. So we actually have some of the largest electoral districts in the world.
All of Santa Barbara County is still in the 37th district, along with the southern portion of San Luis Obispo County. Portions of Ventura County are now chopped out of the district, leaving Santa Barbara County without an incumbent.
We actually had a large number of incumbents throughout the state who were put into districts where they weren't going to be very competitive, and so they chose not to run again.
In San Luis Obispo, Alexa Bertola, KSBY News.
The existing district boundaries will remain in effect until the newly elected officials take office after the November general election. If you were planning on checking out the SpaceX launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base tomorrow, it'll be delayed by one more day. The Falcon 9 launch has been rescheduled for the second time due to excessive winds. The launch is now slated for Sunday at 6:13 a.m. The NROL 85 mission is the second partnership between SpaceX and the National Reconnaissance Office. The rocket will send a national security payload designed by the NRO into space. The launch was delayed from its original date this morning due to technical difficulties. Regular launches at Vandenberg Air Force Base are benefiting local business owners. Mayor Janelle Osborne says while launches have taken place over the last few years, there are even more now, with at least one launch happening each month. When postponements happen, like what we're seeing now with the SpaceX Falcon 9 launch, visitors may be in town for several days, meaning more hotel tax for the city. It also means new customers are checking out local businesses.
Generally, whenever there are any launches in town, we have a big rush. Usually thousands of people come to town that aren't usually here, whether it's actually for the launch or to watch the launch.
Southside Coffee Company's owner says sales were up significantly there this morning, likely due to the launch's postponement. And Kamala Harris is scheduled to visit Vandenberg Space Force Base on Monday. Few details about her trip have been released, but government officials say she will meet with members of the United States Space Force and Space Command. KSBY will be there Monday for her visit.
Now let's get you ready for the weekend, but first here's a look at Avila Beach earlier today thanks to 805 webcams showing us that wonderful sunset here on the Central Coast. Now let's take a look at our temperatures. Right now we're definitely on the chillier side, so Santa Barbara 56, Santa Ynez and Lompoc in the 50s, Cambria 47, Paso Robles 57, San Luis Obispo 52. But what about our highs since midnight? We can see Santa Barbara 69, Paso Robles 75, a little bit warmer. So we did see just a little bit of a warm up compared to yesterday. San Luis Obispo at 71, Santa Maria at 68. Now this time lapse showing us, you can see those palm trees dancing around. That just shows our winds that have been picking up in the afternoon, and they kind of help push out some of those clouds that may be forming. But what about our wind speeds? Santa Barbara 14 miles per hour, Santa Ynez 23 miles per hour, Santa Maria 30 miles per hour, and San Luis Obispo 29 miles per hour. Now this South Coast time lapse, we're going to see some of these clouds forming already, especially tonight, but this is kind of that spring trend that we continue to see, some of those clouds building up overnight and then those winds helping clear some of that out. But right now we can see our fog tracker showing us some movement already. We see those pockets of fog forming near Lompoc, even up in San Luis Obispo, and this is something we're going to see overnight. So if you have plans to drive early in the morning while it's still kind of dark, you might want to keep an eye on that when you're on the road. Now we did talk about rain that's coming our way. It'll be more of a light rain, but we already see that it already made landfall in Northern California. Now it's kind of going to build up overnight, but it's only a very short-lived rainfall that we're going to see here on the Central Coast. So if you have plans for Sunday, it seems like you will be able to enjoy a nice sunny day. We do have another system building up, but that will move along later in the week. Now, if we zoom in just to kind of time this out here in our forecast area, you see that patch in green up on the top of your screen. That's overnight 4 a.m. We're going to see some of that build up in the early hours of the morning, 8 a.m., but the bulk of it is really going to be around noon, and hopefully it's just going to sweep through, and then by the evening we're going to see things clear out for the most part, just some clouds lingering around in the morning on Sunday, but then there you go, what we needed for Easter Sunday. Now, how much rain are we getting? Well, it seems like I was saying, it's a light rain, so we're going to see about 1/100 of an inch for the most part. Cambria might see 1/10 of an inch, but we'll have to take a closer look when these numbers come out. But let me step out of the way so you can take a look at our forecast for Saturday. Paso Robles at 67. You're going to see lots of 60s. Lompoc 64, Santa Barbara 68. If we head over to our north coast, we're going to see San Simeon 58, Morro Bay 59, Cayucas 54. So definitely on the cooler side with that rain that's coming our way. In the 5 cities area, we're going to see those lower 60s, Rio Grande 62, Guadalupe 62, Los Osos 60. As we head to our south coast, we're going to see more of those 60s with Carpinteria 63, Goleta 66, Santa Ynez 67, even Solvang 68. Now, as we plan ahead for our 7-day forecast, again, Saturday is a day you want to keep an eye out, especially if you live in northern San Luis Obispo County. Santa Barbara is not really going to get much of that rain, but still, for Sunday, you're going to see some of those patchy, cloudy conditions, but it's supposed to clear out for the most part. And then we're going to see those temperatures dip again midweek, potentially see some rain by the end of the week, but we're going to have to take a closer look at those weather models. But for now, that's all you need to know so you can plan ahead for this weekend. That's all for weather. Back to you.
All right, Claudia, thank you. One local football kicker